broadcasting across the U.S. and around the world. Good morning, radio friends. Happy Independence Day weekend. I'm Vern Sherd, and welcome to another edition of the Retro Oldies Brunch, the show that takes you back in time to visit the past and provide a bit of music history. This week we'll be visiting the early 1960s as we take you on a trip back in time to visit the year that was 1963, a year that marked the ending of the doo-wop era and the peak of the American folk music revival and the surf music era. We'll include anecdotes about the songs and artists and relive the year through music and news and entertainment briefs. During the showcase, we'll have our three-of-a-kind music trivia segment. We'll feature a forgotten 1963 hit from our radio vault. We'll also have a long-distance dedication from one of our listeners. This week's showcase features the first surfing song to top the charts and a couple of early Motown classics that helped land these groups into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, on with the showcase. The American folk music revival that began in the 1940s was entering its peak in 1963. We'll begin the showcase with a folk trio who topped the charts with an updated up-tempo version of an old 1929 folk song. The song features a pairing of 12-string acoustic guitars for its arrangement. Here are the Rooftop Singers with Walk Right In. Surf music came on the scene in the late 1950s as a style of instrumental rock and roll music developed by guitarist Dick Dale. The second wave of surf music was a vocalized version ushered in by such acts as the Beach Boys and this duo who hit the top 40 14 times. In 1963, they had their only chart topper, and it was the first surf music song to hit number 1. Here is Surf City by Jan and Dean. Welcome back. I'm Vern Sherd, and now it's time for a look back at the year that was 1963. The U.S. mourned the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas on November 22nd. The U.S. Postal Service launches the zip code system. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, known as The Rock, closes due to the high cost of maintenance. And 16-year-old high school junior Lesley Sue Goldstein tops the pop charts with a song that tells of a girl's boyfriend who shows up at her birthday party with another girl. Here's Lesley Gore with It's My Party. We're up to the first of two Motown groups in our showcase. These Rock and Roll Hall of Famers helped make the Motown label a major player in the pop music scene, and this song helped popularize a new dance that was sweeping the nation, namely the monkey. Peaking at number 8, here are the Miracles with Mickey's Monkey. And now it's time for our long-distance dedication. Bonnie from Texas emails us. Dear Vern, this is Bonnie from San Antonio, Texas, emailing you to make a long-distance dedication request for your music show. My mother Beverly wanted to have a family but ran into issues trying to conceive a child. When she finally became pregnant, she was overjoyed. However, that joy turned into sadness when she suffered a miscarriage. My mom and dad were devastated as it had been determined that the unborn child was to be a girl. They had planned on naming her Aubrey. A year went by and my mom ended up having a successful pregnancy. She and my dad were overjoyed with their rainbow baby, which was me. They added another rainbow baby, a little brother for me, a couple years later, named James. I have a close relationship with my parents, and they've stressed to me and my brother never to take life for granted, to treat each day as a miracle. I eventually grew up, got married, and we recently had our first child, a girl. I received my parents' blessing, and my husband and I named her Aubrey, for the sister I never got to have. My parents frequently listen to your station as they enjoy the older music, and we try to solve your music trivia challenges when my family visits during the weekend. To honor my parents' first grandchild, and to honor my sister, could you please play Aubrey by Bread? My daughter is adored by my parents, and I know that when they look into her eyes, it helps somewhat ease the pain of so many years ago. Thank you so much for your time. Sincerely, Bonnie. Well, Bonnie, thanks so much for your email and for sharing your emotional story. Here is your long-distance dedication. Welcome back to the Retro Oldies Brunch. I'm Vern Sherd, and now it's time for another look back at the year that was 1963. The top movies were Cleopatra and How the West Was Won. The Beverly Hillbillies and Bonanza were the top TV shows. Poet Robert Frost dies at age 88. Country singer Patsy Cline dies at age 30. And as mentioned in the earlier news brief, President John F. Kennedy dies at age 46. And number one this week in 1963 is a song by a group consisting of active duty members of the U.S. Marine Corps. The song's rhythm mimicked the sound of teletype machines used in the offices at Camp Lejeune, a Marine base camp in North Carolina. Here's Easier Said Than Done by the Essex. That was the end of the world, and that is the end of this week's Retro Oldies Brunch, the year that was 1963. Our showcase featured a couple girl groups with music by the Janettes and Martha and the Vandellas. In 2 weeks, we'll have a special music feature showcasing iconic girl groups and even a couple of iconic girl bands. From the Marvelettes in the 60s to the Spice Girls in the 90s, join us for My Fair Ladies of Music. A reminder to tune in to the DJ Greyhound Radio Groove 2-hour dance party every Saturday night this summer at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to connect with DJ Greyhound Radio on LinkedIn or Facebook so you can get our monthly music program schedule, and subscribe to our new YouTube channel so that you can check out clips from previous shows. Until next time, radio friends, this is Vern Sherd saying, don't be afraid to aim high with your goals. Even if you come up short, you'll still end up at a better place. You're listening to DJ Greyhound Radio, playing the hits of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.